You might be sitting here thinking you're only friends, or maybe you believe they just like spending time with you. But what if I told you that you might already hold a very special place in their heart, and they themselves haven't even realized it yet? Many people look for the big dramatic gestures to confirm love. Flowers, love letters, big confessions, candlelit dinners. But in reality, the most meaningful signs often hide in the smallest everyday details. If you've been overlooking those subtle hints, you could be missing the fact that someone is already deeply, quietly, and hopelessly yours without saying it out loud. Let's walk through these signs together so you can finally notice what has been right in front of you this whole time. And as you listen, think carefully. Who in your life shows up this way? Because the answer might surprise you more than you think. The difference between simple attraction and true emotional attachment is one of the most misunderstood aspects of relationships. Yet this difference holds the secret to knowing when someone has actually given you their heart. Attraction is usually quick. It sparks instantly. It's often about appearance, charm, or the thrill of a first conversation. It's exciting. It can feel like a rush, sometimes even electric, but that initial spark doesn't always mean there's depth behind it. Emotional attachment, on the other hand, moves slower. It grows quietly, takes root in small moments, and becomes deeply tied to how a person feels when they are around you. This is the space where hearts get stolen, often without either person fully noticing at first. Attraction may be what makes someone turn their head and notice you, but attachment is what makes them stay, what makes them think about you even when you're not around, and what makes them start to imagine their world with you included in it. When someone is attached, it's no longer just about butterflies in the stomach or light-hearted flirting. It shows up in their consistency. It's in the way they make space for you in their daily routine. It's in how they listen even when the topic isn't thrilling. It's in how your presence feels like comfort, almost like home. They might never come out and say these feelings, but you'll notice it in the way they include you in their choices, in the way their whole face lights up when you walk into the room, or how they remember small details you thought no one noticed. Attraction can fade quickly if there's nothing deeper, but attachment slowly weaves itself into the fabric of daily life, becoming harder to ignore with every interaction. Another key difference is vulnerability. Attraction often feeds on showing the best version of ourselves, wanting to impress, to shine, to appear perfect. But emotional attachment grows stronger when the walls come down, when flaws are revealed, and when comfort becomes more important than performance. If someone has shifted from trying to make you see their polished side to letting you witness their messy, unfiltered self, it's a powerful sign that their heart is already in your hands. At that point, they're not worried about impressing you anymore. What they want most is to be understood and accepted by you. This is where people often underestimate the strength of emotional attachment. They assume that because there hasn't been a dramatic declaration or a big romantic move, the feelings must not be serious. But often, it's the smaller, quieter actions that carry the most weight. Checking in on you when you're under stress, choosing to spend their time off with you even though they had other options, standing up for you when you're not in the room, or asking for your opinion on important matters in their life. These are not signs of casual attraction. These are signs of emotional connection and attachment. And once someone has formed that kind of bond, their heart is already yours, even if they haven't admitted it to themselves yet. Non-verbal cues are also one of the clearest ways to read the heart, especially when words haven't yet caught up with feelings. When someone has fallen for you without realizing it, their body often gives them away long before their mind is ready to accept it. Human beings communicate so much more through gestures, tone, and physical presence than they do through spoken language. And love has a way of sneaking into those tiny, unconscious movements that can't be rehearsed or faked. You might notice how their eyes rest on you just a little longer than on others, or how their pupils widen when you laugh, or how they lean in closer, almost instinctively, when you start talking. These things aren't planned. They are natural behaviors showing that their attention and emotions are pulled toward you. Another clear giveaway is mirroring. When someone unconsciously copies your body language, crossing their legs after you, leaning forward when you lean forward. It's not about imitation. It's the body's natural way of aligning with someone it feels connected to. It creates a rhythm, a silent sync, a sense of being in tune. Even when you're in a group, notice if they angle their body toward you or if their feet point in your direction while they're speaking with someone else. These small signals quietly reveal where their focus truly lies. Touch is another powerful silent communicator. It doesn't always have to be bold physical contact. Sometimes it's the gentle brush of their hand against yours, the way they guide you through a doorway with a light touch, or the way their gaze locks with yours just a fraction longer than necessary. These micro moments carry an intimacy words cannot fully explain. A person developing deep feelings will often find ways to shorten the distance between the two of you. That could mean sitting closer than they need to, leaning toward you while showing something on their phone, or offering small, reassuring touches that linger with warmth. Even facial expressions reveal more than a person intends. A smile that grows slowly when they see you, the softness in their eyes when they watch you, or the spark of curiosity in a raised eyebrow when you're talking. All of these are signs of emotional investment. They may not put their feelings into words, but their face can often expose them. Even silence becomes telling when they pause before replying to you, when they take a breath as though carefully choosing what to say, or when they hold your gaze just a bit longer than expected. Put all these subtle pieces together and you start to see a language of the heart spoken without sound. It's there in the tilt of the head, in the warmth of a glance, in the invisible pull that keeps drawing them closer without either of you fully realizing it. Consistency is one of the strongest indicators that someone's heart has been quietly given away, while attraction often leads to sudden bursts of excitement and energy in the beginning. True emotional connection reveals itself in whether someone keeps showing up for you over time. It's not about random grand gestures. It's about the steady pattern of small actions that prove you are part of their world. When someone is consistent, it isn't just because it's convenient or fun. It's because you've become important to them in a way they don't want to lose. That kind of reliability doesn't happen by accident. It's a reflection of deeper feelings, even if they never say it out loud. You'll see this consistency in countless small ways. Maybe they greet you almost every morning with a message. Maybe they ask about your day, even when theirs has been exhausting. Maybe they remember to check back on something you mentioned days ago, proving not only that they listened, but that they cared enough to keep it in mind. These may seem like little things, but they hold great meaning. Consistency like this doesn't come from surface attraction. It comes from emotional connection, because people only act with such steady dedication when their heart has already created a habit around someone. And once something becomes a habit, it becomes part of the heart's daily rhythm, something they can't imagine going without. Consistency shows itself in the way a person treats you, not only when life feels easy, but also when things get stressful or complicated. Anyone can be warm, funny, and attentive when they are in a great mood, but a person who feels emotionally connected to you doesn't let their behavior change drastically just because they are tired, frustrated, or distracted. Even in moments when they don't have the strength to be at their best, they still make the effort to show up for you in some way. They may not always speak in the softest tone or have the energy to do something grand, but you'll notice they try to ensure you don't feel overlooked or less important. This steady way of being is one of the strongest signs that you're no longer just another person passing through their life. You've become someone so significant that pulling away is not even an option for them, no matter what situation they are facing. Consistency also reveals itself through patterns lessons over time. It's not about what someone does once or twice in a good moment, but about the effort they continue to make month after month, year after year. Do they reach out to you regularly instead of only when they're feeling lonely or in need of comfort? Do they create space in their busy lives to include you, even when other responsibilities or distractions compete for their attention? If the answer is yes, then it is a strong signal that their heart has already chosen you, even if they haven't said it aloud. True consistency never has to beg for recognition. It flows naturally because of the value they place on you. Their actions become a constant thread tying you to them, weaving you deeper into their everyday life, showing you that you've taken up a permanent place in their heart without the need for big speeches. Another meaningful way people reveal attachment is through small sacrifices. These sacrifices often go unnoticed because they aren't flashy or dramatic, but they speak volumes. Attraction might push someone to impress you with big gestures, but emotional attachment makes them willing to trade their own ease or comfort just to see you happy. They may give you the last bite of their favorite dessert without thinking twice, or shift their schedule around to spend more time with you, even if it means a little inconvenience for them. They might quietly handle a task they know you dislike just so you don't have to deal with it. What's remarkable is that to them, these things don't feel like sacrifices at all. The happiness of knowing you're comfortable or smiling outweighs any effort they had to put in. When someone's heart is quietly captured, their perspective changes from me to we. Their choices are no longer just about their own preferences, but about what would make the two of you feel better together. They'll pick a movie they know you'll enjoy, even if it's not their style. They'll slow down their walking pace just so you won't feel rushed. They'll make these little shifts without announcing them, because it becomes second nature. These tiny adjustments may seem small on the surface, but they reveal a depth of selflessness that doesn't happen when feelings are shallow or temporary. Each of these moments builds trust and connection, showing you that you are worth the effort every single time. Sacrifices also show up in emotional support. They may stay awake long into the night talking with you when you're upset, even though they're exhausted themselves. They might put aside their own worries to listen patiently when you need to vent. They could choose to drive a long distance just to see you, even if the meeting is short. Or they might give up personal downtime just to help you with something that matters to you. These gestures rarely come with a big announcement. They're not trying to gain recognition or prove a point. They do it because their care for you runs deeper than their own comfort. And over time, these little acts pile up. On their own, they might look small, but when you notice the repeated willingness to put you first, you begin to see how much value they place on having you in their life. When a person consistently goes out of their way without expecting anything back, it is because they find joy in seeing you happy. It's not about what they lose, it's about what they gain, the feeling that they've given you something meaningful. This is how hearts confess love without saying a word. Through quiet, everyday actions, they show that you matter more to them than convenience ever could. Think about it. If you're nodding along right now and realizing, wait, I think I might already have someone's heart without even noticing, then you're not imagining it. That's exactly what happens. Attachment often sneaks up quietly. The way someone prioritizes your joy above their own ease is one of the clearest and strongest signs of hidden devotion. Most people naturally lean toward comfort. It's human nature to want the easy path, to do what benefits themselves the most. But when a person starts placing your needs, your comfort, and your happiness above their own, that's when you know you're witnessing a shift from casual attraction to something far deeper. And these moments of selflessness usually don't involve big sacrifices. More often, they show up as small, thoughtful decisions repeated again and again. Maybe they take a longer route just to come see you, even though it's not convenient for them. Maybe they put aside a chore or task just to sit with you for a while. These choices may cost them time or effort, but they willingly accept that because your joy feels like a bigger reward than whatever they gave up. You'll notice it too in little things, like when they pick a restaurant you enjoy even if it's farther or not their preference, or when they tolerate something they don't love just because they know it makes you smile. It doesn't stop there. People who are emotionally invested pay attention to the details. They remember your favorite snack, the music you like, or the small gestures that brighten your day, and they act on those memories, surprising you with things you didn't even ask for. They adjust schedules, shift plans, or carve out extra time just so you can share moments together. These aren't acts of politeness or obligation. They are acts born out of genuine care. The most powerful thing about this is that their joy becomes tied to yours. They're not doing it because they have to, but because seeing you happy has become part of their own happiness. Even if they never say the words "I love you," their actions speak loudly enough. Their willingness to go the extra mile again and again shows you that your presence in their life has already become irreplaceable. And then there's playful teasing and inside jokes. To an outsider, it may just look like light-hearted banter, but underneath, it reveals something much more intimate. When two people create a private world of laughter, humor, and silly remarks that only they understand, it's a sign of closeness that can't be replicated with just anyone. Attraction can spark laughter for a moment, but attachment builds a shared language. These jokes and teases become little treasures that make your bond feel unique. When someone teases you, it's not really about the words, it's about the comfort behind them, the safety of knowing they can be playful with you without fear of misunderstanding. That teasing is their way of saying, "You matter to me enough that I want to share this space of laughter only with you." It's their heart showing itself in yet another quiet, subtle way. They are showing you, without ever putting it into plain words, that they feel comfortable enough with you to lower their defenses. Think of the contrast between a polite surface-level chat and the kind of playful teasing that only happens when someone feels safe. Teasing is built on trust. When a person lightly makes fun of your little habits or quirks, it means they've been noticing you closely, paying attention to those tiny details that make you who you are. And when those playful jokes aren't cruel but instead designed to pull a smile out of you, it's a clear signal that their real goal is to draw nearer to you, not to create distance. Inside jokes take this closeness to another level. They're like private languages, born from shared moments, funny mistakes, or even silly lines that stuck and grew into something meaningful. As time passes, those jokes become small reminders of the bond you share, little memories locked away from the rest of the world. Each time they bring one up, it's their way of recreating that memory, reliving the connection, and telling you, without actually saying it, that you share something with them that others simply don't. These tiny references quietly place you in a special category in their life, a level of closeness not many people ever reach. What makes both teasing and inside jokes so revealing is how naturally they happen. They don't need rehearsing. They come out freely because the person feels relaxed around you. They want to see your face light up, and deep down, they want to be the reason behind your laughter. When jokes and shared laughter turn into your unspoken language, when they can't stop themselves from making you smile even in serious or stressful situations, it's a strong clue that you already hold a unique place in their heart. To others, this playfulness might look like nothing serious, but hidden in it is often genuine affection, a sign that their feelings for you run much deeper than even they realize. Emotional openness is another of the clearest signs that someone has quietly handed over their heart, often before they admit it to themselves. Most people walk through life protecting their private feelings, especially the softer ones, like fears, insecurities, and past wounds. It's not natural to share the raw, unpolished parts of ourselves unless we feel safe and truly trust the person we're sharing with. So when someone starts letting you into that hidden side of their world, it means something powerful. It's not about pity or trying to get attention. It's because they want you to understand them on a real level, not just the version they show to everyone else. This kind of vulnerability shows itself in many ways. Sometimes it's through deep personal stories, the kind that explain how they became who they are. Other times, it's through small but meaningful admissions, like telling you they had a rough day or confessing something embarrassing that they'd usually hide. What matters most isn't the size of what they share. It's the fact that they're trusting you enough to reveal moments when they don't feel strong or in control. If they let you see them cry or admit they're anxious or talk openly about what they hope for or worry about, it's because you've already earned a place close to their heart. They're showing that your presence is safe enough for their most unguarded side. Another way vulnerability reveals itself is when they ask for your guidance or thoughts on important matters. It could be about a work decision, a family challenge, or even a personal struggle. By leaning on you for perspective, they're showing that they value your wisdom and feel reassured by your presence. They believe you won't judge them for being imperfect. That level of trust is one of the strongest proofs of love because it shows they don't just want you around for the fun times. They want you to see their whole self, the polished and the messy, the confident and the insecure. Emotional vulnerability in this way becomes like a silent confession. It shows that the person is not only drawn to you but deeply attached in ways that go far beyond surface level attraction. Then come the conversations about the future, which are some of the sweetest and most revealing signs of all. These conversations happen almost without them noticing because they've already started to picture you in what's ahead. Attraction can stay in the moment, but love almost always looks forward. When someone begins imagining next week, next year, or even decades ahead with you in their vision, it's a clue that their heart has already chosen you. These conversations don't always come dressed as dramatic love speeches. Most of the time they sound like jokes, playful ideas, or passing comments, but hidden in them is a deep truth. You've slipped into their vision of the future. It might sound like a small joke about what kind of house you'd live in together, or what city you'd retire in one day. Maybe they laugh about what kind of dog you'd get, or suggest a trip you should both take. They might casually talk about events months from now, as if it's already certain you'll be there with them. All of these small remarks show that, in their mind, you're not temporary. You've become part of the long-term picture. They can't imagine the road ahead without you walking beside them. Sometimes these future-minded talks aren't even playful but practical. They may include you naturally in family gatherings, projects, or plans without needing to ask if you want to join. To them, it's already obvious. You're included. They don't picture those moments without you there. This isn't about responsibility. It's instinctive. Their heart has already placed you at the center of their plans long before they've put it into words. Another layer of this is when they talk about their hopes and dreams in life. If they tell you where they want to live, what kind of career they want to build, or what kind of life they want to create, and you're woven into those visions, it's a very intimate form of attachment. Talking about goals is already a vulnerable thing, but bringing you into those goals is their way of quietly saying, I want you there with me. Whether it's a light-hearted vision or a serious dream, the message is the same. They don't see a future that doesn't involve you. When you step back and put all of these signs together, a clear picture begins to form. Real love almost never bursts in with dramatic fireworks or obvious declarations. More often it sneaks in gently, hidden in ordinary behavior. It's there in the little sacrifices they make without drawing attention. It's in the laughter that belongs only to the two of you. It's in the honesty they dare to show you, and the way they naturally include you in their tomorrows. These small, almost invisible acts are the language of a heart giving itself away slowly before the words ever arrive. So if you notice these patterns in someone close to you, know that you're not just seeing casual affection, you're witnessing something deeper. You're seeing the quiet forming of love, love that doesn't announce itself loudly, but instead grows softly until it becomes undeniable. And the most beautiful part is that the person may not even fully realize how much of their heart they've already placed in your hands. That is the quiet wonder of love. It shows itself not in big shows or loud words, but in the everyday details that whisper the truth. You already hold my heart.